Aaron Katursky in Tucson again tonight.
Tonight, with the search for Nancy Guthrie now entering its third week, and with the country still praying she's found, her daughter Savannah is making a direct appeal to the person who took her mother. 2 weeks of pain evident on Savannah's face.
And I wanted to say to whoever has her or knows where she is that it's never too late. Of every human being. And it's never too late.
The Today Show host who has spoken of the nightmare her family's going through, hoping the kidnapper will consider giving her mother back.
Consistent to what we were told by the family, that Nancy was dropped off at home, and we know that because we have a garage door open at approximately, I can't stress that enough, at approximately 9:48 p.m. At 9:50 p.m., that garage door closes, because that time we assume that Nancy's home and probably going to bed. Sunday morning, early morning at 1:47 a.m., the doorbell camera disconnects. At 2:12 a.m., software detects a person on a camera, but there's no video available. They had no subscription, and therefore it would rewrite itself. It just kind of loops, right, and covers up. That's what our analysis teams have told us. We're not done with that. We'll do all we can, but that's what it says. So it detects a person on camera. Could that be an animal? I imagine that's possible. We don't know that. We just have no video. But we're not giving up on that. 2:28. Nancy's pacemaker app shows that it was a disconnect from the phone. And at 11:56 a.m., the family checks on Nancy and discovers her missing. And at 12:03 p.m., 911 is called in to the Pinal County Sheriff's Department. I believe it's about approximately 10 minutes later, 12
All right, welcome everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Give me just a second here to get this all set up. I hope everybody is having a wonderful Wednesday. And as always, thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch the show. Got some interesting theories and some discoveries. And it it does appear that some things that I put out that I've discovered in the footage, not to say I'm the first one, because there's, so many people checking this out, but it's kind of funny. I kind of came into this case late, and it seems like there's been a couple times where I've noticed something, and then a certain channel picks it up the next day or that night, and it's kind of funny, but it is what it is. The goal is to find Nancy Guthrie. Sorry, let me get this here. Let me know how the chat is, if anybody's having any problems. I'm sorry, I got something in my eye just before we started, of course. But anyway, hit that like button. And hopefully whatever's in my eye will go away. My eyelash. But yeah, so I got some interesting stuff that I discovered, and as well, what channel? I'll show you. What channel? Yeah, I'll show you. It's funny. Again, I've been doing YouTube for 4 years. It's nothing new. The thing is we just come together, right? Looks like chat is fixed. Yeah, let me know if anybody has any issues, because then I can take the notification up top there down, but I'll leave it up for a little bit more. It's good that they are. Oh, that's so cool, man. I wish I could go to France. Oh man, I'm jealous. The accents, everything. Oh my gosh. If I could travel overseas, that would probably be one of the first places. Rome, Paris. Oh. Beautiful. All right, so I'm sure most of you guys know the timeline, and we'll just go over it a little bit. Of course, there's not much to it, and just in case there's anybody that doesn't know what case this is Nancy, and I always want to say Nancy Grace. It's so hard, and I'm dyslexic. I'm surprised I haven't done it more. But Nancy Guthrie, let me fix this over here, pictured on the right with her daughter Savannah Guthrie, who is famous. She is the co-host to the Today Show. And sadly, on February 1st of this year, her mother was abducted out of her home. She's 84 years old.
For approximate times?
Absolutely terrible. And instead of letting him talk, I'm going to go ahead and just do this a little bit faster so we can get to the surveillance. And I ran some things through ChatGPT to kind of get some ideas about the surveillance and stuff like that. And yeah. Oh, really? Wow. Huh. That's interesting. Uh, yeah, YouTube. It never surprised me. There's always some kind of issue. As long as we can go live and the chat's working, as at least you guys can chat. That'll be fine. All right, let's get going. All right, so the timeline. January 31st, she goes to her daughter's Annie and the son-in-law Tommaso, which is west. She went there about 5:30. She took an Uber over there, and they had dinner and they played games. And then at 9:48 is when she arrived. But so I don't I forget the time. But so probably sometime after 9 p.m. Tommaso, the son-in-law, drives her back home, and it's reported at the garage door, and that is Tommaso and Annie, the other daughter to Nancy, and her husband, Tommaso. 9:48, the garage registers that it opens, and then 2 minutes later, which people have noted that, for everybody who doesn't know, Nancy Guthrie, at her age, sadly, she has a little bit of trouble walking. So people have put up an interesting comment about seems a little fast for just 2 minutes for him to drop her off and her to get in there. But anyway, the garage door closes at 9:50. Allegedly, he comes home, and then at 1:47, the next thing we have is her Nest camera being disconnected. And then 10 days later, surveillance footage was released, and we've been kind of breaking it down with a lot. Jess, that is a great question, and I have something that kind of follows up with that. But yes, that's such a great question. Yeah, great comment. I agree, and it'll kind of lead into what I've got. But it appears this suspect or suspects was there clearly if it was disconnected at was it 149 or 147? 147. Clearly they had to have been there before that to disconnect it. And then at 2:12, software detects a person on a camera. Now this is not the same camera. This is the camera that's in the backyard. And we'll go over that a little bit later. And then, so that means they probably broke in through, she has the front porch, and there's a door to the garage that's kind of in the backyard. And then I believe there's a sliding glass door, which in this footage we'll play here in a bit. It's interesting the way they point. I think that is possibly the way they got in. And then her pacemaker disconnects. She had Apple devices. She had an Apple Watch, and I assume an Apple phone if she has an Apple Watch. And those separated, and I think it's up to about 30 feet from your device and she had a pacemaker. So once 30 feet from the Apple Watch and or the phone, it would register a disconnect, which also screams the question, why didn't that set off any alarm bells? Why didn't that notify, law enforcement or, 911? And then sadly, her missing a church thing on that next day, the family then, of course, checked on her and she was missing. And here we are, 3 weeks, a little over 3 weeks now. We have the ransom. We've gone over that. We had the press conference during, I think, the first week, where they broke down some of the timeline and that they had DNA. There was blood outside the front porch and then DNA inside the home, and they said it was mixed DNA. And one of part of the DNA, some of it was Nancy, and the other one, I believe, was an unknown male, but it was not in the CODA system, meaning they have never been arrested. And so they sent that over to Florida, and I meant to get an update, but I believe they've been having some issues with that. Anybody can correct me. And again, covering two different cases, it's tough. So if I get anything wrong, please correct me in chat. So we move on. And yeah, let's start here. This will be a perfect place to start. So I've done some videos noticing some different things in this surveillance video.
Hi there.
And I've been kind of pointing little things out, and possibly a second suspect that's out in the distance. And then also, is there somebody standing next to the suspect? And then there's also what appears to be something in his pocket that we'll go over. But there's something big that I will go over here in just a minute. But before we dive into that, so I can read chat here for a second because I've been rambling on. This was posted yesterday. This is from the daughter, Savannah. Before the reward got up to over 200,000, and now yesterday she made this plea and a new reward. She also gave some information that may suggest that Nancy maybe had been in her bedroom when she was abducted. So I will play this, and then we'll get into the surveillance and a theory about the order of the image versus the videos, because I know there's a lot of talk about that. And so we'll definitely dive into that. So let me play this real quick so I can read some chat for a minute. And if again, thank you for taking the time to watch the show. And if you can, please hit that like button. Here is Savannah yesterday, kind of updating and announcing a new reward.
I'm coming on to say it is day 24 since our mom was taken in the dark of night from her bed. And every hour and minute and second and every long night has been agony since then, of worrying about her and fearing for her and aching for her. And most of all, just missing her, We know that millions of you have been praying. So many people have been praying of every faith and no faith at all, praying for her return. And we feel those prayers. Please keep praying without ceasing. We still believe. We still believe in a miracle. We still believe that she can come home. Hope against hope. As my sister says, we are blowing on the embers of hope. We also know that she may be lost. She may already be gone. She may have already gone home to the Lord that she loves and is dancing in heaven with her mom and her dad and with her beloved brother Pierce and with our daddy. And if this is what is to be, then we will accept it. But we need to know where she is. We need her to come home. For that reason, we are offering a family reward of up to $1 million for any information that leads us to her recovery. All of the information about this reward and the details is in the caption below. You can call the 1-800-TIP line. You can be anonymous if you want. Someone out there knows something that can bring her home. Somebody knows. We are begging you to please come forward now. We also know that we are not alone in our loss. We know there are millions of families that have suffered with this kind of uncertainty. And for that reason today, we also are donating $500,000 to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children for their work in helping families who are coping with loss and actively looking for those who are lost. We are hoping that the attention that has been given to our mom and our family will extend to all the families like ours who are in need and need prayers and need support.
Pentagon? I believe it was Tomas, the son-in-law, technically, as far as the general timeline, would have been the son-in-law, correct? Who, because she took an Uber to Annie's home, but when going back, it was the son-in-law that drove her home. Oh, and there's Sensei there. So technically, as far as the official timeline that is out there, it would have been the son-in-law was the last one to see her. And there is definitely some speculation. I would not be surprised we find out that it's either some kind of close family member, extended family member, friend, or one of the workers around that work around her home, workers / extension from them, worker friends that know about the home and maybe know that it's the mother of Savannah Guthrie. They would have money because obviously there was a ransom, which I do think the first ransom does seem like it was legit considering the timing of when they posted that first video like this with the family and them addressing saying, hey, we want to talk. And that was on the eve of the first, because they gave two different deadlines. So I do believe that at least that first one could have been real.
So please, if you hear this message, if you've been waiting and you haven't been sure,
possible,
let this be your sign to please come forward, tell what you know, and help us bring our beloved mom home so that we can either celebrate a glorious, miraculous homecoming or celebrate the beautiful, brave, and courageous and noble life that she has lived. Please be the light in the dark. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to break this down. Oh, I may need to turn down my heat. But I promise you guys, I got something good because there's been kind of some speculation on the Ring camera and the still image versus the videos, and was the still image taken days before or was it earlier? And I have a good theory, and I did some research, and I think you guys may find this very, very interesting. So definitely, let's see here.
Door to the garage here.
Okay. Yeah, let me kick down this heat real quick. We're going to get into this timeline a little bit more, but we're going to definitely break down the surveillance video. And I think I've discovered something interesting and doing some research. Again, I'm not an expert with Nest Google cameras. I do have a knack for breaking down surveillance footage. Again, I'm not an expert. I just tenacious person with attention to detail. And so we know that there's this video. The FBI released 3 videos. One's 4 seconds. That's where he's walking up. The other one is the still image, which is very dark. And then there's 2 other ones. The one where he's kind of walking up and using his hand, which is this one. This would be video 2. And then the third one is after he walks out and grabs the brush, it cuts. And then the last video that was uploaded, which is about 20 some seconds, is where he's trying to block the camera with the brush. So, but I do have an idea of when that still image could have been taken. And like I said, I did some research on it. Again, doesn't mean I know for a fact, but I will show you guys some compelling evidence to that.
Watch this. Watch.
Okay, Megan,
Now I'll so I can go quickly turn down my heat. I'll play this. I'm sure you guys have seen this before, but this video is very important. I'm not gonna play the whole thing. I'm just gonna go turn down the heat. But as he's jerking the camera left and right, as he's trying to take it off the bracket brace, you can clearly see that it can just turn even just ever so slightly. And I noticed when we examined it a couple of days ago, the still image versus the videos, I noticed that the angles were slightly different, ever so, which tells me that that still image obviously came first, and he tried to tamper with it. I think he tried to take it off, but was unsuccessful. But yes, whoever mentioned that that this person, interesting, they go right towards the camera and knew to try to take that off, suggests that this is somebody that knows the home. So, all right, let me go full screen for just a second, guys. Be right back.
installed the Nest doorbell camera on our door to the garage here.
And what's interesting is it comes with a little tab, just a little flat
Tab, almost like a tip of a screwdriver, really.
And that's how you remove it from the top. So you just push down and it clicks right off, sorta. There it goes.
So it pulls right off that way, and that's how you take it off to charge it, because it is battery powered. It needs to be charged every so often. There's no wires here. And you'll see this plate looks exactly like the one that you see on the house at Nancy Guthrie's house and all the news videos.
So it's the same model. And to put it back, you just click it on the base after you've charged the battery, and it's there.
And the question is, how do you get it off without the tab? And I was excited because you said we could smash this if we wanted to, and you'd pay for it. But you don't need to do that. You actually, just with a little bit of force, you can pull it right off. And the base is still there, undamaged.
And actually, this camera is still recording, so if I take this and throw it or put it in my bag, it's still going to be recording for a little bit longer. So I got to think there's still video of that they haven't recovered that might show a different angle of things that we haven't seen.
There's no evidence that it was...
Okay. Let's see. Oh, I know what I was doing here. I was breaking down the timeline when it comes to the doorbell disconnecting. So keep this in mind because this will come up here in about a few minutes. But they have the timestamp at approximately 1:47. The doorbell disconnects. That means that's it got turned off or whatever. But that clearly means that he was there uh, well before that. How long, we don't know, but I do have a theory on that. But that is when that is disconnected, and I think that was done on purpose because they knew that they were going to take her, if it's they or one, but I do think it was likely two people. They knew that they were going to extract her out the front door, so they knew that they had to get to that camera first before they did anything else. So they did that. I think they attempted it first, but something went wrong. Didn't have the proper tools, or just didn't know how to take it off, and then came back. And then the 212 was from this camera up here in the backyard. So they disconnect the front because that's where they're going to extract her out, and then they get into the backyard, either through the garage or I think the sliding glass door, because we'll see a video of the agents, which was released today, where they were kind of pointing at certain areas. And there's one part in the backyard I found very interesting that they were pointing at, which we'll look at. But that was the camera that detected something in the backyard. And I believe this was also tampered with as well. So FBI agents were here today, and this will all come full circle here in just a bit. Keep in mind these porch lights. These will be very important to what I'm going to talk about when we compare the still image and the videos. I've got a very interesting theory. But this was today. This is looked like some agents, and I think Coffin Devers said that she thought maybe a district attorney was there as well, claiming that this is maybe a good sign that maybe they've got a really good lead. Again, this is a little bit out of my area expertise, but she said this was a good sign. I'd like to believe her.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, because you got to think, Moon, that, remember, the front porch was disconnected at 147, so that one's out. And I think she had either one or two cameras. Maybe they were like connected to each other, but it looks like there was just the one other one that overlooked the backyard. So I think, deducing if she had just two cameras for her home, we know that the front porch was disconnected. So I think it was definitely, and that would make sense with the timeline, in my opinion. Oh, I didn't even notice that. Is that I forget his name.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're gonna go in the backyard, but remember, keep in mind these porch lights is coming handy here in a bit. So obviously they look at the ring, the Nest Cam.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah, that's curious, Moonlight. Is there footage, or did it get overwritten and they couldn't recover that? I'm assuming she had Google Nest. That was some other kind of Google device. And we're going to get into the subscription, non-subscription she had. And it probably is the same scenario. So it may, Cameron, thank you. It may have been overwritten. And I promise, and this will be a very interesting point. Now, I do find it interesting. Notice they're covering their mouth when they're talking. They're opening up the garage. And notice they're covering the mouth because there's actually... sorry, I was looking at chat. Is there a different video? But yeah, notice they cover their mouth. I swear there was a drone. Yeah, it covers his mouth. Just makes me wonder what something happened in the garage. There's the drone. I knew there was a drone. Whoever's got that drone, they're pretty ballsy. I'll tell you that. I mean, they're right. I was right over the head. It was so dark we couldn't see it. It was kind of blending in. But yeah, there's a drone right there. That's pretty ballsy. Yeah, exactly. So that tells me that, they're clearly talking about the case, certain, details they want the public. But this is very interesting. Obviously, this is the backyard. And we can see another drone flying. Whoever's that flying that drone, man, you can even see the shadow of it. Not to get distracted, but I find this very fascinating. I always thought they could have came through the garage, but why are they interested? The pool is over here. Is there something kind of evidence that they saw? They disconnect the front porch. Maybe they went around this way, came over, and then maybe tried to disconnect maybe one or two of the floodlights. Maybe tried to get in through the garage door and then unsuccessful. Then got into the sliding. I'm not sure. If anybody knows, that's what it takes in this book. Oh yeah. I mean, even fuck. I mean, yeah, it was. A lot of them were. That's true. What do you guys think of that, though? Do you think that that there's some kind of evidence that one or more of the intruders came in over via the? Oh, here they are looking at this. And so, did they disconnect and then come back around and maybe just hop the wall? And if there was only one other camera, maybe that's why they went this way. I don't know. Kind of interesting. Yeah, right, Stephanie. Yep, for sure. Yeah, it's possible. Thank you guys. I almost have 800 people in here. Thank you guys so much taking the time out of your Wednesday to watch the channel. I promise you we'll have some interesting theories here. So this was a post by Jennifer Coffindaffer. She's definitely been getting a lot of attention, and clearly she's former FBI. She does have clearly contacts and stuff, but this is her reaction to the videos. There was activity at Nancy's house. This was obviously today. She claims that the folks in the suit looks like attorneys to me. Prosecutors often want to see a crime scene firsthand. They would likely be accompanied by lead detectives, agents. This is a positive sign. And I would agree, and hopefully that is. So we're going to get into the footage here in just a second. This is going to come full circle as well, which is kind of wild. But they're going to put up no trespassing signs. But it's the company they work for that I was just looking up before I went live, and I'm like, holy shnikes. Cooler says they're just going to get a picture of the layout of the house and grounds people here today. here that one was local DA or something. Okay, so interesting. Voodoo says I can read lips pretty well. They didn't want to read lips. Yeah. So they're putting up no trespassing signs, but this video will be relevant here when we get back to kind of potential suspects. But this was kind of wild. And I definitely agree with this, you know, considering, you know, until the case is solved, you never know what evidence may still be out around in this area. DNA, whatnot. Yeah, I don't want to get sidetracked. Again, to me, I just think it's always nice to have somebody that's, you know, either former law enforcement that may have contacts, that they may have inside information. Yeah. So we're gonna talk about the other date.
There were indeed 2 intruders caught on the Nest camera.
Okay, so I released this video. Is this the first? Oh, yesterday or the day before. Now I can't remember when but I released this video. I think 2 days ago, actually.
But before I do that, I need to break down all the videos and the still image in the order of events. This will be very important as to why.
But this, I promise you, this is very, very important.
I think the FBI and other agencies might be withholding certain information from the public. So here is the 3 videos and image released by the FBI. Now here they are in the order I believe they happen, and pay close attention. So we have the still image that I believe came first, where I believe they first attempted to take the camera down but was unsuccessful. Then we have the intruder coming back with more tools, but this video is very short. Then it cuts to the intruder trying to block the camera, then walking over to the brush. And this is very important, as just before this video cuts, something gets his attention. At the same time, we see something in the background. You can see a set of lights in the background, and this gets the attention of the intruder. I believe this could have been a signal to a second intruder. Now notice that this video ends just as the intruder looks over at something or someone. It then cuts to the intruder using the brush to block the camera, but why? Why did the video cut there? Was this all they could retrieve, or did the FBI make a cut there on purpose? So in the final video, we can see that the intruder is now using the brush to block the camera. But why not use your hand like before, or even your body? I believe there was a cut from the second video to this one on purpose. And I will show you the evidence that, in my opinion, shows a second intruder next to the first one. As we look at the third and final video, we can see that the intruder clearly has some brush in his left hand. To the left, I have a still shot of the front door where the Nest cam would be. But
okay. This is weird. Yeah, I can't get the chat to come up, which is weird on my show. Anyway, but not to get sidetracked, but so maybe I'll leave that up, because right now I'm having an issue on my phone getting the chat to even come up. That's weird. Anyway, I put this video out. It was either yesterday or the day before.
Notice that there is something that comes into the frame on the right hand side.
Now, I was torn between, is this the plant or brush, and we're just getting something of it like sticking out. But if you look at the color grade of the brush, it does not have this part. Again, it's possible. I always try to look at things at all angles. The other thing that I was trying to point out in this particular video is,
in my opinion, shows a second intruder next to the first with some brush in his left hand. To the left, I have a still shot of the front door where the Nest cam would be. But notice that there is something that comes into the frame on the right hand side. It's tough to tell what the object is, but I don't think this came from the door or the bracket that the Nest cam is on. So what is it?
Because once it kind of comes down, as the brush is moving, it doesn't move with it. right? If it's connected, it should be moving. Again, it's still possible. Again, I try to look at it all sides, and there's nothing that like would have fell off the porch door, because that was the other thing I thought. Oh well, maybe why he's tampering with it, maybe something kind of fell into the frame of it off the door or something. Some kind of trim. But there's not. So. And again, the color temperature of it versus the other brush, it just, to me, again, it's still possible, but I think it's possible it still could be somebody else handing him something. Again,
you can clearly see that the
50-50
object comes out of the frame to his left, meaning that...
look at that right there. Like, compared to the brush, like, that's got some... I want to say girth. I don't know. And again, I know there's a little piece of the brush that comes over at the same time. So again, it's possible, but
not come from his body. Some believe it could be a...
Look at the color temperature of it.
Phone being handed off to him. And while it's certainly possible, as it does have that rectangular shape and body, I do also wonder if it is some kind of tool that is being handed off to him by a second intruder. It's also possible that while the first intruder is blocking the camera, a second one is taking the camera off.
But this is not what the main live is about, but I just wanted to bring this up because once I put this out, somebody else, Karen says, proved it was the flower stem. I am open to anything. And it's certainly possible. I just find it very interesting the way it comes in.
You can even see that his right hand...
And the color temperature, like, it's just so weird. But again, this is not what the live's going to be about.
Hand is to our top left, so it would be impossible for him to be handed something to himself.
Again, I see that the brush comes down there. But, man, that color temperature is different.
Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think this is potential proof that there was a second intruder next to the first one? Also, if you missed this video about the light source in the background,
I promise you, we're going to get something really good here in just a second.
Nancy Guthrie is still missing as of making this video. If you have any information about her, please call the FBI tip line.
It does. It really
please
does look like a
like
cell
button.
phone.
Consider subscribing, and thank you so much for
again,
watching.
Maybe it's part of the stem. Okay, it was 2 days ago. Thank you. So then yesterday, and this is the second time it happened. I'm not going to do them all because, again, I really, I love Nancy Grace. Maybe you guys some don't. I got hooked on her in the case in Florida, the Kaylee Anthony case, and her passion. And I love her drive.
That looks like a cell phone, but either way, whether it's in the video or not, the CAS team is going to be looking at all devices, either
this
cellular
comes
or
out the day after
Wi-Fi
I put
devices
that out.
or GPS devices that Google can collect in that area, so that we can start weeding out the ones that are supposed to be there at that time and the ones that are suspect.
Okay, I want to talk to you, and the whole panel, please jump in. Look at it again, because this lit up rectangle that looks like a cell phone is not jiving. It's not corresponding with the movements of the porch guy.
Or like I said, it's still possible. Like I said, I always try to play devil's advocate, but I don't know. I'm mixed on that, but I just find it funny. She puts this out right after I did that. This video's, all this stuff's been out for 2.5 weeks.
He's moving. His arms and shoulders are moving. So it is stationary. See what I mean? Right there. It's stationary while he is moving, which means to me, and of course, I'm not a member of the FBI Cellular Analysis Survey team, but that is impossible. He walks up and the reflective lighting is very apparent. Hold on, those strips. Move your hand, fella. Move your hand. Come on, I want to see those.
This was an interesting catch.
Bueller. Joining me, guys, John Bueller. You know him well.
Bueller.
Homicide detective, former homicide detective with Modesto PD. He helped lead the investigation that ultimately convicted Scott Peterson in the double murder. The theory, John Bueller, that this is someone that had totally cased her home, because they would have had to see she has a door cam, and they're just figuring that out and trying to figure out how to obscure their view?
Yeah, that it's kind of strange to me that somebody, no matter what they're up to, is not going to figure that somebody's got one of the door cams, because they're so common nowadays. But the mere fact that you've got the movement of that light source.
That. He's coming up. It's his left pocket. Wait for it. There you go. Okay. What do you make of that, Bueller?
Yeah, there's definitely
once again, it'll fully support the possibility or probability that he didn't act alone. Just like you guys were just talking about being wise enough to turn off Bluetooth, cellular, and Wi-Fi.
Well.
How's he going to communicate with his buddy? So the cheap walkie-talkies that you would get, which are great to use around the yard and things like that.
So I did find that very interesting. And again, I held no grudges. It is what it is in this day and age. The Bluther, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. It so helps this channel. God bless you. But yes, so now we're going to get to the still image. I know I keep mentioning that. I promise you guys, I got something interesting, and I did a little bit of research on the video and Nest Cam, and I even went into a Reddit forum that was kind of talking about this case and about the Nest Cam, and because I know there's been some mention that they think that, well, maybe this still image came from another night, but I do have a very interesting theory on this. Dude, Gumbo Man literally looks like a Harbor Freight rectangular handheld flashlight. Woo, man, he knows his flashlights. The light source matches. It's like a nightstand with a flashlight. Interesting. I'll write this down. Okay. So here's the question. And I promise you, I got some really good stuff right here. I kind of want to write that down and look that up. Man, that's hey, Braun. Okay, yeah, Braun is a big brand, obviously. Okay. All right, let me know in the chat. Do you guys think this is from the same night or a different night? And when I mean different night, not like, because obviously this is at 1 a.m. and, if this was a few hours later, technically that'd be January 31st. Let me know if you think it's, days before or something. Curious what you think in chat. But I promise you, I've got something, a pretty compelling argument to when this may have been taken. We will do that, Kiwi. I have that set up for a little bit later. So yes, a lot of people bring up the moonlight. And I did some chat GPT stuff, not saying AI is 100% correct all the time, but I have a pretty good theory. So here we go. Hit that like button. I think that you're going to find this very interesting because I looked up the moon, where it was at certain times of that night, and all that good stuff. So same night, different night. Alan thinks different night. Moon says different night. A lot of people say different night. Okay. I have an argument to that and see what you guys think. Keep in mind the lighting is much different. I know that there are some blue, darker specks on the shoes. Now, it could be same night and a different guy, so he's maybe got maybe a different kind of set of shoes on with everything else more or less the same. Clearly doesn't have the backpack. But wait till I show you what I kind of looked up about Google Nest and all this and see what you guys think. And I went over about 3 or 4 days ago how the first thing that I noticed from the still image, I'm like, wait a minute, the archway and the tile don't line up, right? If it's taken from the same fixed camera, I should just be able to overlay this, and it should just line up, even say that this is slightly zoomed in. I zoom it out or zoom this in, I should just be able to lay this right over and it should just line up perfectly, but it doesn't. The tiles are slightly off. So that's where I was playing earlier when he was trying to jiggle and trying to get the camera off. All it takes is just a little bit of movement, change the field of view just ever so slightly. And I think that's what happened. So clearly this happened first. But when did it happen? So obviously we can see that it's much darker. We can see that it's much lighter, and we can see a shadow. The shadow is very important when it comes to this. Very important. And the Nest Google data. So, when researching this, she had the Google Nest cameras, but she did not have a subscription. So that camera does not record 24 hours. It rolls for about 3 hours, which they usually will capture what they call motion events. And then after that, so let's say, at least from what I understand, so let's say the mailman comes at noon, right? He gets recorded on the camera. And then she comes home, say 7 p.m. She comes through her front door, so she sets off the camera. Well, technically, according to what I've read, and I've looked this up a bunch, I'm not saying, I'm just going to say in my opinion, because again, I'm not an expert in this, but technically it overwrites that mailman because it's been over 3 hours. Keep that in mind. You can get photo snapshots of detected activity for 3 hours in the past. Keep that in mind. 3 hours. So whatever the latest motion censored thing happened, it can go back 3 hours, and that's it. After that, it starts rewriting over itself, and we continue on. Keep that in mind. Okay. So with her not having a subscription, officially newer Nest cameras without subscription only store 3 hours of event-based video history. After that, the clips are by design deleted and overwritten. So they had that 3 hour window. Keep in mind, 3 hour window. That's very important. 3 hour window. Now, they were able to recover it because the last known event that happened on that camera is when he took the Nest camera down. So from that point to whenever that event started, it can go back 3 hours. So he disconnects the camera, and then we can go 3 hours back. Now, I looked into a Reddit forum. Again, I'm not an expert in this, but when I was looking into the Reddit forum, and if we get a chance, you guys want to look, I'll see if I can find it. I'm sure it's in my history. There was, experts talking about it, and it seemed like everyone was pretty set that it just has a 3 hour window limit, and then it just keeps rewriting over itself. Now, because that was the last thing, because it got destroyed, they got lucky and were able to recover the data 10 days later. But they could only get the last known event, and then from that last known event, they have a 3-hour window. Very important. Um, I'm sorry, Mary. I'm trying to make this very clear. You'll get what I'm saying. Hopefully, you'll get what I'm saying. But anyway, she did not have a subscription. Typically, people with subscriptions with Ring or Google Nest cameras, they'll record either events, which are, so if your mailman walks up to the near the camera and activates it, it's going to record a certain amount of clip. Usually, well, I know a lot about the Ring cameras and the certain amount of times they record. But if you have a subscription, it'll save the entire day, if that makes sense. And more days. It just depends, if that makes sense. But she did not have a subscription. So that means that, again, if a mailman came early in the morning at 9 a.m., and he walks near that camera, it's going to set it off and it recorded the event. But if we go till, what did I say, 7 a.m., if we go to 5 p.m. when Nancy comes home, again, this is all hypothetical, it's been well over 3 hours, and it records her coming into the home, and then let's say she goes and just destroys the camera, right? Well, now when they go back to look at it, they'll see her going to destroy the camera, but you're not going to see the mailman because it only records in a 3-hour window. Then it keeps rewriting over itself. Just keep that in mind for how long ago was the still image taken. I promise you, this has all come full circle. Okay, this is what I've learned. Maybe there's somewhere I missed something and I got something wrong, but please do your own research on this. I beg you, but I promise you. So, because the timeline, when you put this together, it is very fascinating. Okay, so this is the still image, right? That we don't have a timestamp. None of these really have a timestamp. The only technical timestamp we have is when this guy here, the intruder, took the camera and destroyed it. That's it. So that happened at 1:47 a.m. But that means he could have been there earlier and created that event at, say, 1:15 a.m. He could have been messing around with it for 20, 30 minutes. And then from that, you have a 3-hour window that you can go back, according to what I've researched. And wait till you see how this lines up. And it lines up with the moon, lines up with everything. Okay, so we continue. 1:47, it disconnects the camera. Yeah, she never had a subscription, and all that matters is that night, right? It doesn't matter before, obviously. It doesn't matter what happened after. All it matters is that day. She did not have a subscription. So, camera disconnects at 1:47, but that means he, like I just said, he could have been there 30 minutes before, right? And created that last known motion event. Could even start at 1 a.m., 1:20, 1:30. So where I'm getting at, I need to go to that Reddit post so you guys can see. I may when we play the video, I may do that. So let's just say in hypothetical, right, that this happened a little after 1 a.m., okay? The one on the right, the first video that starts. That happens sometime just after 1 a.m. Now, if we go back 3 hours, that puts us around 9:30, 10 p.m. ish. Because remember, all the times are approximate. Now, you're going to notice that this is going to line up with a very interesting time stamp or time frame that we know of. But keep in mind how dark it is back here versus this. Probably just guys. And again, this guy could have been there messing around with this camera for 30 minutes. I mean, just for him to take it off, we only see him messing with the camera. I mean, this guy definitely could have been there at 1 a.m. easily messing around with this damn camera. So, it's super dark back here. I know I keep repeating myself, but we have light back here. But is it the moon or is it a combination of both? And I promise you, there's something that gives a telltale sign of what is the actual light source causing a shadow. And then why is it so dark back here? Well, she has 2 front porch lights on each side in front of her archway. This is very important. The camera, for anybody who doesn't know, is right here. That's where he's walking up. This is the brush that he went to grab. The still image is him just kind of standing here just before the archway, but there is no lighting back here. And then in the video, as he's tampering, his shadow cuts towards the home and to the left of our view. So the sun sets at this time of year. Oops, oh, that went a little fast. Sorry, meant to put this up. 1 second here. Oh, we almost have 1,000 people in here. That's awesome. I'm so excited. I think you guys will find the timing. It's just the window of time is very suspect. I promise you. Come full circle here. But thank you guys. So on January 31st or February 1st, yeah, we know it's more or less almost a full moon. This area is very dark. They have that thing, homeowner thing, that they like to keep it dark, light pollution. But it gets dark at about 6:30. Starts at about 6. The sunset 6 p.m. and at about 6:30ish, it is now pretty much fully dark, as you can see here. Now, here are the timelines that we know. Now, just think for a second. Look how dark it is, as I mentioned many times before, back here. Sorry, let me clear that. Now, as I said, we have the 147 timestamp of it getting destroyed, but that isn't when that clip started recording. Again, this guy, it looks like this guy's been tampering with this damn thing for a good amount of time. So let's just say, hypothetically, he got there at 1 a.m. the second time, and or a second person, either way. And that's when the first motion video, or technically the last known motion event happened. So now going with Google Nest and not having a subscription, that means technically, from all the research I've seen, it can only go back 3 hours before everything gets rewritten. It's just 3 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours from the last known event. So that means that this puts it technically 3 hours back. Now, Nancy was not home. It's not likely means, especially with the whole HOA. The HOA, again, I'm not a homeowner. I live in an apartment. But with the whole, light pollution thing, she would have not had her porch lights on. And she would have been gone. Imagine that. The night that she's gone for, 4 hours? In that time before she gets back, is it so hard to think that someone on the inside knew that she was going to be gone? Went to go retrieve the camera because they knew that they were going to extract her, and because she couldn't walk, they were going to have to take her out the front door. So they knew that they're going to have to go for that front porch, and we know that from this still image to the first video, the camera's been tampered with. So he clearly went and tried to take the camera off, but was unsuccessful. But going off my research, that would have been the last from the last known event at 1:47, which could have started at 1 a.m. You go back 3 hours. That puts you at around 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. And again, remember all these times at 9:48, 9:50. Remember how much he said. The sheriff said approximately. So this could have been 9:50, and this could have been 10 p.m. If that makes sense. Remember, he really emphasized approximate with all these times. But these are technically 3 hours apart. What are the odds? They knew that she was going to be gone just before she got back. The front porch lights aren't on. They go in. The guy was supposed to take the camera off before she got back. That way, she's not home. They can quickly go just disconnect it. But something went wrong, and they couldn't take it off. Are you guys catching on? So this could have happened somewhere between 9:30 and 9:45. They knew they had a little window before she came home. And I'll read chat here in a minute. I just want to get this because I know I've been kind of rambling on. And I promise you I got another part to this, but I thought that 3 hour window, especially when you're looking at the garage door to the tampering, boy, I know it's like 3.5 hours or almost 4, but you got to remember that it's going off when this disconnected, not when the first motion started, which could have been 30 minutes prior, 40 minutes prior, especially if he's sitting there messing with it, right?
You can pull it right off, and the base is still there, undamaged.
And actually, this camera is still recording.
Oh, thank you, Bridget. I'm going to read chat here in a second. I'll stop. I just want to get this last point.
Recording for a little bit longer. So I got to think there's still video.
Let me turn this down. So again, he went there knowing that she was gone. Perhaps insider information. The front porch lights weren't on. Even though it was a full moon, it was only it was only if we're going off this theory of mine, it would have been around 9 p.m., 9:30-ish. The moon at that time, and I have to go look it up again, it would have been slightly up, but it wouldn't be until about, we'll have to look it up, but yeah, it still was just barely coming up the moon. So it still would have been pretty dark. But again, here's me showing how the tile doesn't line up because he originally tried to tamper with it and couldn't do it. So, what does he do? And of course, it could be they. Again, it could be two people. I definitely think that's possible. They come back with a backpack full of tools, and now they got a weapon. And I think it's interesting he's got the weapon. I think originally maybe they were supposed to go and take this camera off, and it took too long. And then they knew that she was coming back, so they had to leave. I do wonder if this person or persons were supposed to disable all the cameras before she got home. And then that way, after Tomas drops her off, and if you want to say it, maybe it's family member, extended family members, whatever, they could have left the garage door open. And then they come back with tools and, of course, a gun to move her out. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Again, there's much more, but I thought that 3-hour window, and yeah, it's very fascinating. Yeah, if you can, hit that like button. We're just getting started here. But yeah, I encourage everybody to, that's curious about the 3-hour window to, go look up, some research and see what you come up with. But I looked it up on 2 different AIs. I just Googled it. I went into a forum, and they all said the same thing with the no subscription. It's got a 3-hour window, and then it rewrites itself. So I think this did happen. Now, was it the moonlight? Which is a good observation, and it is certainly possible. But when I ran it through AI, I believe it's the porch. So here, she wasn't home. She was probably just getting ready or on her way back, maybe, or something like that. But if you look at the shadow is very dominant. And the moon at that time, the only issue was, so the moon, so here's us. This is north. This is south, east, west. The moon was in here, according to the data, was about southwest. I'd have to get it. So I think that with where the shadow is at, I think it's more likely that it may have been from the porch light than the moonlight. And I'll show you the AI data, the chat GPT data for that. There's still a small possibility, but I do think this was before she was home. The lights weren't on, and then now she's home, which also makes sense why he's armed, and now coming back to finish taking the camera off. And this is what I got from AI. So I punched this into the AI. I gave it the date and about the moonlight, basically saying, it was the waxing gibbous moon, more or less a full moon. And then I gave it the data about the porch light. I even showed where the porch light is versus where he was at. According to its conclusion, the most likely scenario with the shadow would have been the house-mounted porch lights, which would have made sense. She would have been home. Those lights would have been on, in my opinion, of course, which makes sense. I still definitely think because with the nearly full moon, that, it did help brighten the background. But yeah, conclusion was that it believes that the porch lights would have been the most likely scenario. But I do think that's clever with the oops, that's my next big thing. All right. But I do think that is the moon was a great option with the shadow. And I'll still look into that and see. You never know. All right, let me get to chat for just a second. And then there's two other big things that I'm not sure if anybody's really, I'm sure somebody's mentioned it, but I haven't seen it on the news. Again, I haven't seen every single video, so I could have missed it. But there's one glaring thing that I thought was very odd. Black Ritter, thank you so much for the membership. Summer Army, God bless you. Good to see you. Des, thank you so much. Jen, thank you so much for gifting a Mob Group membership. Alicia, good to see you, and thank you so much for the support. Studio, thank you as well for over 6 months of support. And Donna, God bless you for over a year. Blue Third, let's bring them home. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. It really helps me out. Don, good to see you. Yeah, I do remember you. Thanks for all you do. He says Delphi. Thanks, Don. That's awesome. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. That's so awesome. Thank you so much for the $10. Knitting Kittens. I love that name. Since he didn't have the tool, he used the stem of the plant he pulled out of the ground to stick in the hole on the top of the nest so he could pop it off the base. I like that. Not gonna lie. I like that. Gil, you said we have Nest. It's not a 3-hour window. But do you have a subscription? I mean, if you look this up, and then we'll get into the next one. Here. Oops, actually, I want to save this. Nancy Guthrie had Nest camera with no subscription. How far back will the recording go? I need to find the Reddit thing. I may do that. Now it says 3 to 6 hours. Now the reason it says 6 is I believe it depends on the device. So you could say it's a 3 to 6 hour window. But I think the 6 hours is if it newer one. I can't remember if it was newer or older one. But yeah, it is permanently deleted and replaced. For older first or second generations or specific, the pre-non is generally limited to the 3-hour window for older first or second generation. So depends. We don't have a picture of her ring cam, do we? I don't think we could get it off Google that close. That would be the only thing. So it'd be a 3 to 6 if you're willing to do that. If she maybe had the newest one. But yeah, according to this data, this is it. Yeah, this is the one. I'm pretty sure. But you can tell some of these people know way much more than I do about it. But yeah, so right here, because of it does record for a limited window without subscription, a lot of what is said in the news is not accurate. And I think he's talking about how they're saying, "Oh, we think it's a couple of days back." And yeah, if you read all this again, I'm not going to read everything. Everybody talks about the 3-hour window. Yep. And again, you can tell some of these guys because they'll get real deep into it, start talking about stuff that starts even going over my head. But yeah, that's what I understand. Again, do your own research on it. But I think it kind of lines up with just the theory I have that yes, Bam Bam Crab. I'm glad you're getting to that because that's what we're going to talk about next. But yeah. So yeah, if you guys want, anybody want to do research on that, like I said. Gail says, Mom Crew, we have 6, so like 6 cameras. Some do and some don't. Yeah, maybe I'll have to see if I can do some more research on that. But everything that I found, at least, talked about a 3 to 6 hour window, and then it just kept rewriting itself. But anyway, but that would make sense in this hypothetical theory. Individual knows that she is gone, so her home lights are not on, and that would be about 3 hours before this event. Now she's home. They come back and finish the job. Anyway, I'm trying to read a bunch of different things. And again, like I said, I'm not an expert in this. I just, from the research I saw, and I know a little bit about the cameras because we've done a lot of study with the Ring cameras. And I kind of understand, from the last event, you have a 3-hour window before that last event that was recorded. That makes sense to me. And then it just rewrites after that. Since you don't have a subscription. Is it Google Nest? Are you sure you don't have? Again, I don't want to. I don't know. I think this is from the same night. Again, this is just a theory, so just keep in mind we're just kind of hypothetical here. I'm sure we'll figure out more, and maybe they'll. But yeah, we'll just stick to this hypothetical that this is 3 hours back, no lights. Then we have the guy returning back. Because when you have a subscription, it'll just record all day. It'll save up to, as a matter of fact, are you sure you don't have a subscription? Nest camera subscription. How long recordings stay in the system? 30 to 60 days. Isn't that what you just mentioned? Are you sure you don't have the 3 months? Yeah, I think 3 months. Yeah, I think you have the subscription. Yeah, maybe Lisa, maybe there's something that's true. I mean, but if it's rewriting over itself, yeah, I don't know. Again, it just tells me that it rewrites every 3 hours. So I don't know. Maybe there is, voodoo, magic that they can do. Clearly, they did that to recover this. So who knows? In this day and age. Do you see blood drops on the brick wall besides the front door? Sorry, I'm late. No worries, Magma Mama. Are we talking about after everything on the brick wall? We'll take a look at that. Okay, so here's the next big one. Yeah, bondage. Well, you'd have to go through the front door. See, that's where I think this is all inside job, because they knew that they were going to have to. I think they knew that she had, health issues and had trouble walking. So I think that's, clearly, if it's one or two people, they knew that they had to get to that front door to disable that camera, right? Because they knew that they were going to take her out the front door straight to that, the little driveway. That is the quickest point, I guess, unless, you wanted to go through the garage. But now here's the next big question that I am concerned with, and I don't know if anybody's talked about. Oh, Rachel, oh, like for the flashlight? Maybe that's possible. I think, in my opinion, I think he's got like the Ninja. I think, what did we look up? Ninja Bite. Now it's like a keychain flashlight, more or less, really small. And it just obviously you just press on it, or you could just bite on it. That would mean it'd have to be Bluetooth. I don't. Maybe no. I guess it wouldn't have to be Bluetooth. Yeah, I don't know if there's if there's flashlights like that. If that's what you're talking about. Sherry. Oh, we got over 1,000 people in here, so I apologize. I'm looking. Oh, thank you, Hindsight. I appreciate that. Shoot. All right, this next one's gonna be interesting. I'm looking. Where are you? Dun, 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 if you could have, oh no. Right. Oh yeah. We'll get to that. We'll do the comparisons in a minute. Yes, I did see that earlier. Yeah, if we get a chance, we'll look at this. But here's the next thing. Okay, so the other thing I was researching, even without a Nest Aware subscription, Nancy Guthrie's camera could detect still motion and send alerts. Alerts would send push notifications to her app if logged into the same account. Her Apple phone and watch would both, and let me repeat this, her Apple phone and watch would both receive them. So if anybody is not familiar with these kind of cameras, usually they'll come with like an app, Google Nest or Ring Camera. You have an app, and maybe you got, if you're an Apple person, you got an Apple Watch, same kind of thing. You got apps on it. And even without a subscription, if your mailman comes up to the door, you get what's called an event, a motion event detection, because the camera detected motion. It records it, And at the same time, you can set it to different alerts to your phone and or Apple device. And you would get them like a text alert. Here's my question. When this person came not once, but twice, and she doesn't have just one, but two devices, why didn't she get notified? Again, saying this, it wouldn't matter what day this happened, I in my theory, I think this is the same day, and I think this happened when they knew that she was gone. To me, that just makes the most sense. You're gonna commit that same night, and you're gonna go right for that camera and get rid of it. But why in the hell did she not? Again, because she has a phone and a watch, and again, if this happened another day or while she was at dinner, or maybe this happened right as she was being driven home and maybe distracted, or even when she was at the party, and maybe someone dismissed her notifications on purpose. Someone else had her watch. Yeah, maybe. Yes, Lisa, I agree. I think it was I don't know if it was recharged. I mean, it's possible. It definitely was handled, right? I think we both agree. And clearly, it's no coincidence that you got the still image, and then after that, it has changed. Um, the dog pass. That is interesting. That is going to get into my suspects, but I think in the timeline note, the wording notified of an image on the camera after it went offline. I wonder which camera. I think you're talking about the second camera. Oh, she wore hearing aids. Yeah, I guess it depends on how much. But if she had it on her, watch still, and yeah, she could have had the notifications off, but yeah, turned notifications off at dinner when she wasn't looking. Yeah, if you're thinking inside job, this is where I'm kind of going at. Is like if this is an inside job, this would be perfect timing, right? If you're looking at like Tomas or maybe extended, friends of his or something like that, this would be perfect timing. They know she's at a dinner party and playing games. So one or more come and go to try to dismantle the camera. They fell. And here's another thing to think about. How come this guy, when he came up to the camera, again, just in theory, if this is that same night, how come he didn't finish the job? Right? We've seen the video where he takes that camera off. Like it's not that hard. So what if he was trying to do this and they showed up? And so he had to bail. He bails, then goes back, Maybe he meets up with the buddy, and then they come back with tools and a gun. Again, just spitballing. Sure, just gonna hear the notifications. Again, it's just something to point out because again, you have two devices, and even if it happened and she didn't hear it at the beginning, especially depending on if this happened 3 hours ago or if this happened 3 days ago, it should have stored it on the devices, right? That's kind of why I'm more leaning towards this happened all in the same night within a 3-hour window. Because she didn't see the notifications. Maybe it was too tired, or somebody kind of helped so she couldn't see the notifications. And yeah, I just plugged mine in. Thank you for reminding me, Chris. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Progressive Girl. Again, yeah, it's just a theory. But like I said, it just kind of lines up with them kind of coming. And again, why, if this guy was coming up, what's the purpose of him coming again? Like days later, what is the purpose of this guy coming up? I mean, I guess if he was going to scope, but if he already knew the camera was there, again, if this is days before, what would be the purpose, right? This, again, looking at it all sides, what would be the argument to coming up days before? Yes, to scope, but here's the thing. We know that camera had been tampered with. Now, again, looking at both sides, you could say, okay, yeah, maybe the day after she had somebody change the battery. Possible. But no, I really think, just in a hypothetical, this was the same night, and this person was supposed to just get it off in a couple minutes, because we've seen, when the guy did it, he just took it right off, and for whatever, the guy's not the smartest and couldn't get it off, and then they showed up, so he had to dip and then come back with the equipment hours later. Possible. Practice runs. Yeah, I mean, it's happened before, definitely. Yeah, it would still be, but the image may be blank. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Kim Watts says, Chris, it was also said that the solar security light got smashed. Interesting. It's possible, Lisa. I mean, again, there's nothing wrong with debate. I personally think it'd have been the same night. I just don't know what would be the purpose come days before. I mean, yeah, surveillance, but again, the camera was tampered with, so again, either they charged it. How often do these things need to be charged? Let's see this real quick. I wish we knew the exact model. Nest camera. How often do they need to be recharged? 5 to 7 months. I don't think so. So if you got, that makes so much sense. So if you've got if you got people walking up and it's recording all the time, you got cats, Amazon deliveries, DoorDash, you're gonna run the battery a lot faster. But if there's not a lot going on, yeah, it says low traffic areas could be up to 7 months. Again, I think it's good to look at all sides. I'm just, yeah, I think it was tampered with, in my opinion, on that night. But it would be nice to know which one she actually had, so we could, learn more about the device. Yeah, that seems, and that seems proper because, again, since it's on a bracket and everything, it's not like a cell phone. That thing's got to be, yeah, that makes more sense. Like months. Oh, thanks, Cindy. Yeah, we try to stick with facts, and I try to look at it from all sides. Again, we're all here to help look for answers for Nancy, right? And it's good to debate. It gets everybody thinking. Lisa said on that. Hopefully we'll find out. Hopefully we'll find out. I'll do some more research on the Nest Cam and see if I can maybe figure out a way to get the model. But I mean, that, again, this is the last time we'll mention it. We'll just move on. But like I said, you look at the Reddit forum on this and the comments and the people that really know this, they all mention 3 hours with no subscription. And they kind of talk about how they got the data and stuff. Again, this is yeah. Anyway, moving on. Think it's the same night, different guy. It's possible. It's certainly possible. Yeah, maybe one went to go remove the camera. He was supposed to remove the camera, and maybe the other one was on lookout. They're probably both idiots. The first guy couldn't get the camera off. He aborted because they were coming home. I mean, that fits right in the 3-hour window. That's why, that's right there. And yeah, maybe the partner who's loaded for bear comes and completes the job. Maybe the other guy is either hiding in the background with those lights or working his way around to break in from the other way. All right, let's look at some of the footage. Okay, we'll look at the blood for a second. Someone mentioned that. And then we'll look at this, like, I don't know if it's a phone or a walkie-talkie that's in his left pouch pocket. Blood on the brick. Kind of sucks I got this. I was trying to. Do we know what side was it on the door, or was it on the sides? To me, I think she probably had maybe a head injury, and being on blood thinners, something, or a hand injury maybe. The blood pathologist went over that, how the blood droplets are straight down as if you were to have like a nosebleed. So whatever happened didn't happen there, and that's why there's DNA in the home. There's probably blood, and if the guy had that flashlight in his mouth and was probably taking it in and out, probably ended up, yeah. Now, because again, I try to look at things from all sides, I will show you an argument that it might be a different night. Do you guys want to see that? Just because we got people kind of divided on that. I personally think it's on the same night, but I will show you something that could say there are some things moved around. Yes, that's right. Head injuries. Yeah, I remember I had a grandpa. He was a huge alcoholic. Well, step grandpa, I should say. But yeah, he's a huge alcoholic, and I remember he got just a little nick on his head. And of course, alcohol thins your blood as well. And oh my God, he's bleeding like crazy. And once the wound was, all the blood was wiped up, and it was just this little tiny scratch, and it's like, wow, that's kind of scary. Okay. So interestingly enough, just suspects theorizing, right? Could be Tomas, extended friends of his. I know that's been looked into. And then we have some of the people that worked for her. She had pool maintenance from Ambience Pool Services and Supplies. That they did weekly pool service. Then we have the landscaping crew, which is called Guaranteed Landscaping LLC. And that says she also had a housekeeper. She's been interviewed, but I think, nothing against landscapers, but, if you knew who she was and knew that she and her family came from wealth, could you scheme up with maybe the wrong people? And you would kind of know the layout because you did landscaping. Now, of course, they did interview and I think even did DNA from these people, but, was it could have been somebody like an extended friend or something? That's certainly possible. And then what's interesting is the people that were putting up the no trespassing side was actually the Guaranteed Landscaping LLC people. Jess says yes, RN and those blood thinners bleed easy. Yeah, that is scary. That is very scary. True. Yeah, what would be the motive, right? Again, if I had to lean towards, I think it's somebody more towards like landscaper, somebody that's been kind of around the house, knows enough about the family that they're. I mean, because you got to go. If the ransom is real, then clearly the motive was money, and that means that they had likely known who she was, where she lived, the area. So that would be my suggestion. Now, of course, it wasn't Tommaso. Sorry, not Tomas. Because whoever had the mustache clearly he's got the full goatee and everything, gray hair. I know some of the bandmates. Interesting, just to bring this up. Apparently, they scrubbed a lot of their bandmate photos, which is a little sus. We know that the backpack is an Ozark from Walmart. They're looking into that. Then we have, I think there's a couple people divided on the jacket. I forget the brand of the jacket that they were looking at. So let's look at the walkie-talkie, and then if we get some time, I will show what appears to be maybe evidence of it maybe being a different night, just to play both sides. But here is, on the left is the original, and on the right is the negative. I'm going to go full screen so you can see it. Keep an eye right here. You can actually see there is something kind of coming out of the pocket. It's tough to say what it is. Is it a walkie-talkie? Is it a cell phone? It is there. I do believe, I know some people think he's left-handed. I think he's right-handed just because the gun, you know, the way the handle is towards his right side. But you never know. Maybe he's ambidextrous. So I'm going to do that, and then I can read some chat here. And then I will show an argument to it being maybe a different night, just to play all sides. Oh, I know you guys can't hear me. I was just trying to go full screen on that. But yeah, that's weird. It looks like a cylinder tube. Hold on. Let me go back. I want to go full screen on that. That's weird. It could just be a kind of a glitch. Do you see how it's almost cylinder right there? It could just be a weird angle, or just, I mean, that is very prominent. Hold on, let me go full screen. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this real quick. I never noticed this like round thing in there. Whoa. Okay, I'm gonna go full screen. When I'm full screen, you guys can't hear me. I don't have the mic set up. So I'm gonna go full screen. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this so we can zoom in on this. Ooh, mace. Yeah. That is fascinating. Yeah, let me know in the chat what you guys think that is. That is very wild. Yes. Oh, no. I mean, you can see the bulge of that. I mean, that is pronounced. That isn't just some pixelation distortion. That, I mean, that is prominent on both. I didn't see it better on the non-negative one. Yeah, flashlight, mace. Looks like a bite light. Bite light. Yeah, maybe he had a spare one. Yeah, I know they were talking about a walkie-talkie, and I did kind of see that. Man, that's just weird. That round part, very pronounced. And that along with it, and this, man, interesting. I would love to be able to buy that jacket. We could find the right one just to see, do some experiments with it. Interesting. Walkie-talkie. Yeah, I could. Just one more time here. Yeah, no doubt there's something in there. Again, this guy's loaded for bear. And then, of course, something in his left pocket here. And we've kind of already mentioned that. I'm sure I'll probably see this on Nancy Grace. Hi, Nancy Grace. Cell phone. Yeah. Let's see. What time did we start? 6:15. So we got 2 hours. All right. Last thing. So again, I try to be fair. My vision sucks. My hearing sucks. So I apologize. I tried to zoom in as best I could. It's tough when you're working with this kind of footage, right? Denise says, in my opinion, it's possible to still photo without backpads from a different camera, like Neighbors or Nancy's roof cam. He's right-handed. Thank you, Denise, for the $5 super chat. Neighbors or Nancy's roof cam. I don't think it'd be from a different camera. It's the same area. Unless maybe you meant to type something different there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's right-handed. I agree with that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the same camera. It's all the same lights in the background, same foliage and everything. But thank you so much for the $5 super chat. It really helps this channel out. And we've got little sweet thing becoming a member. Thank you so much. Don. Oh, I think I missed Don here. I only see guns worn over crotch in Central America. Oh. Don brings up an interesting comment. I'm sorry. I only see guns worn over the crotch in Central America. Americans never do that. Any chance the purpose for Mexico is Central America? Wow, Don, that is interesting point. Sorry, I missed that earlier. Wow. I can, Cindy, if you guys want me to. Okay, gotta give me a second to do this. If you can, if you haven't already, hit that like button. It really helps support the channel. Let's do it. Oh shoot. Gosh, I probably missed and there's a Michelle. Thank you so much for the Venmo. God bless you. Means a lot. Okay, Central America first, and then I will do an overlay for you guys. All right, I don't know. How would I look this up? Guys wearing guns near in Central America. I just want to be careful not to have anything pull up that maybe is wearing holster guns near. That is interesting, though. That is something to look up. Because you would want it. I mean, yeah, that's interesting. I'm going to be honest, Miller. When I looked that up, it did look like they were in the waistband. But I think even a lot of people do that. But I think that's an interesting comment, though. It is. I think that would be, something to look into. The way they had that there. I think that could be something there. Great comment and great. Thank you, Don. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Hopefully I don't break my computer. I'm going to need a new PC by the end of this year here. This one's kind of getting beat up. All right. Okay, same height. And I'll just give a little evidence. What's the best way to do this without breaking my computer? Let's do this. Let's get rid of all that. This over. Bear with me for. Oh, okay. Make me just want to restart everything. Okay. All right. That. All right. Two more things and we'll finish up here because we've been kind of going pretty long. All right. Same height. All right. So we take. Now the only issue about the height is with the still image versus the guy. Let's see which one. Yeah, we're gonna have to see. He's ducking in that one, which is a shame. All right, let's see. Here, let me just get rid of all that. Okay. Bump, 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 bump. Camera so I could see the knob. Interesting. Okay. So. God, man, it's like he knew he was standing there when he did that. Okay. Let's take this one. Okay, here we go. It's probably the closest one we're gonna get to. Okay. Oh, oh, oh. Archway is. Get that archway as close as we can. Okay. All right. Okay. He is right there. He bends. Okay. So, right there. I'm going to take that one. We'll do that one. And we'll take the one where he's kind of walking back. And we'll get rid of that one. Okay. That. And that. Right there. That's before he ducks. Okay, so we take this one above. Let's slow this down just a little bit more. Right about there. This is from the back, and then I'll do from the front. It's tough because they're not. Okay, so that's from the front versus the back. I'm trying to use that to line up, but man, it's slightly crooked because the camera got switched around. I'll go full screen here in just a second. Oh, you guys can't see what I'm doing. All right, I'll go full screen when I do this. I just realized you guys can't see what the hell I'm doing when I'm doing this. All right, tilt it. Would that line up the... So yeah, I need to line up the... Rotate, 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 rotate. Rotate, where's the rotate? Okay, I need to rotate. Just... I gotta line up those tiles. Probably... Oh. Oh my god. I think I just got it. Oh, I did. Oh, I did. Oh my gosh. Okay. Negative 3% angle. Okay, negative 3% angle. So, yeah, that camera was definitely tampered with. Okay. All right. Can I do this? Yes, I can. Okay, cool, 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 cool. I need to take this slightly right there. Okay. All right, here we go. This is the best I can do for right now because I want to. All right. So we go boom. Boom. And we go boom. There we go. Boom. And I take all of this out. Oh, actually, no, I wanted one thing. Almost done. Almost done. Take this out. Take that out. Take this. Put that there. Boom. Sorry, guys. I know you guys were chatting. Get it all the way over here. Okay. Oh, shit. That one's not. Oh, no. That lines up. Okay. That one lines up, right? Line it up. It's close. It's not the best. It's the best I can do for now. There. And I'll go full screen on this here in just a second. Bear with me. There. There. And I'll show you one thing for the argument. There. And right there. Now again, this is not 100% accurate. If I had more time, I think now that I know the angle, I'll have to do this after. All right, so here is it in full screen. No, this is Wondershare. It's okay. Sometimes they charge me random stuff, and it kind of pisses me off. Oh, thank you, Caroline. All right, here we go. All right, full screen. Let me know what you guys think. Again, I don't think he's ever in that same exact position, but here we go. You won't be able to hear me while I put it full screen. It's close. It's so tough because in the video, the guy is half the time he's got his head down, which is a shame. I'm kind of in the middle. I could see it both ways. I wonder if besides the height, maybe looking at the legs and the torso, maybe overlaying nose. Yeah, because this second one, he's really just got his head down. But here, although he's closer, okay, look at the rocks here. Look at the rocks. You can see them here. Now watch the rocks. Watch the rocks. Watch the rocks. You see the rocks? See the rocks? Where's the rocks? No rocks. Oh, god damn it. You can't see it. Shit. Okay, watch this. Check this out. Wait, does it show it here? No, actually, you can see him there. Why is it? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Holy shit. Oh, you guys can't see it. Shit. Okay. Watch this. Watch the rocks on the right here. Okay, this is so interesting. Holy shit. Okay, watch the rocks There's 3. There's like 2 little ones. It's next to this plant right here. I'm going to go full screen. Check this out. Holy shit. Yeah, those rocks moved. 100%. 100%. I thought maybe the lighting could be playing a trick. Oh, shit. God damn it. You can't see it when I'm talking. Ah! That's frustrating. I'll have to do a short video tomorrow. Those rocks moved. But here's the thing. Oh, man. I don't know. I gotta do some more. I gotta look at that. Did he try to use the rocks for something? I also think the backpack guy looks larger. Yeah, I think what I didn't think about is turning the thing. Let me go back where you can kind of see it on the left side here. I'm sorry. I need to line these up. They're close, but they're slightly off just a little bit. I'll try to fix them. It could be different nights. Again, I always good to look at it at all angles. I was just trying to put out a theory that it happened on the same night, and they showed up just before she came home, which again I think is definitely possible. But it looks like he may have took those rocks for something. We'll have to look at the video where they're walking up the stairs and stuff and see what they're like. But yeah, they're different. I saw that too. Yeah, the black cactus. Um, yeah, you're talking about this. Yeah, it could be. It could. Again, it's always good to never get narrow sighted on things and try to. It's good to debate, and you're right. Yeah, look at that. There it is. And it's not blocking the light either. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. So it's right on the edge. Ooh. It's possible. Possible. There's that bush there. That bush has moved over a little bit. So it's right to the left of the bush, right? So it should be. I don't know. It could be slightly out of frame. It's a little 50-50 on that one, but that's a great catch though. Interesting. Magnum Mama. Chris, please check for blood on the brick wall next to where the camera was when you get a chance. It's driving me crazy. Oh, and I just took everything off. All right, last thing, and then we'll finish up. I'll put out a video tomorrow. Hopefully, I can beat Nancy Grace to it. I love you, Nancy Grace, but timing of some of those videos after mine kind of funny. Anyway, it is what it is. There's the video where they're walking up. No, it's down here. It's gotta be down here. There's no. No. Blood at home. Okay, here we go. Okay, last thing. Oh, the rocks too. The rocks. I don't know. I'll have to look at those. Oops, wrong thing. Unless they were placed back too. They could have been placed back. Okay, I slowed this way down for you. Here, oh, you know what shoved the blood? Here, I even got something for you. And do this. Maybe. I don't know if that would be better or not. Okay, let's do this. Mixed with this. I'll go full screen, of course. Give me just 1 second. Work with me. Maybe go something like that. Let me flip these real quick. Last thing. Let me flip these. No. I want one. All right, let's take a look. Full screen, you won't be able to hear me. Last thing for you guys, and then I gotta head out. But I I appreciate the support, and thank you. I've got 2 Venmos. Thank you guys so much. Stout as well. Thank you so much. It really, really helps. I had a slow Friday. February. I was kind of sick. All right, here we go. Full screen. Let's see if we can see any blood around here, is what you're saying, on the brick wall. Let's take a look. Maybe bring that down just a tad. Okay, here we go. I really don't see anything. Not saying there's nothing there. I'd have to. I may need to get something maybe better quality of this. I just kind of screen recorded this, so that kind of loses quality. But yeah, there's a lot. Anyway. Yeah, door doesn't look broken at all. Which is interesting. That's, to me, that tells me, like I said, they went for the ring cam, disabled that, almost like they knew that was there, and then they entered into the backyard somewhere. Because clearly we know that the other camera caught activity. Unfortunately, I guess they haven't able to retrieve it because she didn't have a subscription, or maybe they do have it and they just haven't released that because they're trying to keep certain details from the public right now. And then they unlocked the door from obviously inside, so there wouldn't be any damage to the door itself. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't. Maybe in the would it? I mean, it would be whatever is, it would be just the same thing as your phone, right? Same material. Yeah. All right, guys, I am going to head out. I appreciate everybody. We had over 1,000 people in here. I really, really appreciate it. Again, I try to be open-minded with everybody. Again, I have my theory on the video. I'll continue to do some more research on that. And yeah, if I get some time, I'll try to, instead of going right for the height, maybe I'll try to maybe line up his waist or legs or even his width. Like there's a couple spots where maybe I can line up his width. You have to be careful with that because you can really, if you take Photoshop or something, you could easily make a skinny person wide or a wide person skinny, right? So you have to, you know. Thank you, Caroline. Oh, thank you guys so much. Oh, of course, Chris. No problem. Oh my gosh, that's a. Oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you guys so much for the love and support. You guys are awesome. Yeah, I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Let's just hope they didn't hire fish sticks. Hopefully I got to everybody. Oh, Philip, I did miss something. Philip says, just found your show. Nice to take a break from other channels who get cited when they see a person walking on a public street with a backpack on. I know what you're talking about, Philip. Yeah, I thank you. That's awesome. And Joanne, thank you. The firearm is only in that position as a scare tactic. True. Yeah. I mean, it's right there, right? Yeah. Yep. All right. Tomorrow I'll be covering Sebastian because it's kind of the 2-year anniversary. But I will have a video out tomorrow morning with some of the new finds that us as a community discovered and put those out and some theories, in my opinion. And with that, if you're invested in the Sebastian case, come stop by tomorrow. I always like to get new people on that case. And with that, I'm going to do a pet outro. This is just for the members' pets. And with that, we will see you guys tomorrow. God bless you guys.
stay away. I'll hear you say you're sorry.